Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night if you guys are out there in the world. We have been watching these calendar releases from Gary Gensler's overall schedule for a while. They are 4 months out, so this goes back to September of 2023. He has been meeting with individuals from China for a very long time. These are major leaders or individuals that are affiliated with the Chinese government. And we have to question this. We have to ask ourselves, what is really going on here? Big shout out to Nerd Nation Unboxed for releasing the overall calendar updates. But Ashley Prosper 1 quoted this and said, every single month so far, Gary Gensler has met with someone affiliated with China. On top of that, entities like Ethereum and Prometheum, which are funded in part by the Chinese, get free passes to the financial markets of the US. Meanwhile, US companies like Ripple, Library, and Coinbase face years-long litigation resulting in lost business or bankruptcy. Gary Gensler, this is a serious question. Who do you work for? Now, yeah, we have been asking this question for a little bit of time, but the big thing is that look at all of the Chinese connections to the US government and prominent individuals that are leaders in the US. Money has been flowing back to China or major nations that are affiliated with China for a while now. And we need to ask ourselves, what is going on? Why are we targeting US-based companies that could very well propel our financial system and our technology behind it years and years and years ahead into the future right now, yet guess what? They're still being targeted. They're being attacked. And they're being washed for money. Library, they had to file bankruptcy. This is sickening. Now, at the same exact time, we also have to ask other questions. Like, for an example, why did the New York Department of Financial Services remove XRP from its green list after, big key word there is, after Judge Torres ruled that the XRP token is not a security? I wanted to find out why. So here's what I did about it. And this is actually on a Digital Perspectives channel. This is from Meta Lawman. Listen closely to this. This is about 5 minutes long, but it's crucial to understand.
After the ruling came out with Judge Torres that XRP in and of itself is not a security, what happened in New York with the NYDFS, Jay?
Less than 2 months later, the New York Department of Financial Services came out with an update to their green list. Now, I have been complimentary of the New York Department of Financial Services for having a green list that the SEC does not have. And this green list says if you're an exchange, you can offer these tokens to New York residents, you're good. If you want to list a new one, then you've got to go through a process with us, which again, that makes sense as well. So I've been, complimentary of how it's been approached. And so XRP has been on the green list. And so after Judge Torres ruled that XRP traded on the secondary market is not a security, less than 2 months later, the New York Department of Financial Services updated their green list and withdrew XRP from the list. It's no longer green listed for residents of New York to trade in XRP on any platform that has a bit license that can operate in New York. So this struck me as kind of odd because Gary Gensler took the loss. You and I went through it line by line, and it was a loss, and a big loss, and an embarrassing loss. And then the next thing you know, this other state regulator says, no. Now that XRP has acquired clarity that's not security, we're going to delist it. This is what we call a non sequitur. It does not follow at all. In fact, if it had not been on the green list, the decision of Judge Torres would be a reason to add it to the green list, not take it off. And so me being a semi-retired lawyer with a little time on my hands thought, you know what? I'd like to understand what exactly has happened here. This is a government servant, government agency, and we're supposed to have sunshine laws that allow citizens to understand why their government does what it does. So I sent a Freedom of Information Act to the New York Department of Financial Services immediately after that press release came out. In New York, it's called FOIL with an L instead of FOIA with an A. And it just means Freedom of Information Law. And so, and it's very, very similar to FOIA. And they have a deadline to respond. And all I said was, I would like to have every single document, slip of paper, text, voicemail, video chat, or anything else that involved the decision to delist XRP from the green list. Want all of that. Oh, and the second thing I want is all communications with any other agency of government at any level, including the federal government, or any other state or any other agency anywhere in the world, where they communicated to you about your decision about whether to delist XRP. And of course, what I was looking for there is whether the SEC had influenced this decision, because it makes no sense at all to delist when it's clearly not a security. And a federal judge in the town where you work in Manhattan said, not a security. And so anyway, I sent this Freedom of Information thing, and basically so far, I don't have any documents. So far they have missed 2 deadlines that they get to extend their own deadline. So now the next deadline is the end of this month, January 31st. And so while I am a lawyer, and I have a license to practice in New York, I've retained a lawyer who's an expert in Freedom of Information Act law cases, and I'm not going to let it go, because what was done here is quite bizarre. Perhaps, Brad, there's a rational explanation for this. I cannot think of what it might be, but I'd like to see the documents and see if, in fact, somebody put their thumb on the scale and said, look, I know this is embarrassing to take it off the list when it's clearly no longer considered a security, but we got to do it because somebody over here is applying pressure. I don't know. I don't know if there was a political consideration, but I intend to find out. And if it requires filing litigation in New York, that's what I will be doing.
And again, we need to know answers on this, because in my opinion, someone is forcing the hand here, and it is against a US-based company, and it's trying to harm a crucial piece of the puzzle that this US-based company utilizes. This is a crucial piece of their business model. And again, I question what is going on here. Beyond this, guess what? Gary Gensler continues on his warpath. Check this out. They compared 2023 going all the way back to 2021. Hitting a record high in 2023, the SEC enforcement actions against crypto firms have nearly doubled since 2021, the year Gensler took over. This alone should piss you off. Why? Because when you look at the companies and the players that he is going after, right? This isn't just, oh, this is a meme coin, this is a useless token. No, he's going after established companies that are actually trying to become a legitimate player in this space and propel this space into a much better light. But Gary Gensler is going after these legitimate players while he is letting the actual, the actual ones that are breaking the law, the ones that are putting a stain on the name of crypto, he's letting them just go right past, just like FTX. And we question why. In the past, I've talked about it. I personally believe that FTX was an inside job, and a lot of what we are seeing around the space, they are planted seeds by these regulators and by those like Elizabeth Warren that want to push their anti-crypto agenda while letting the doors open for BlackRock and for, these big players that are Wall Street giants so that they can come on in, control the market and corner the market and get wealthy yet again off of something that everyone thought, hey, look, it's an escape away from that. No chance. It's the same exact reason why JP Morgan has been here since day one, even with Ethereum. But beyond that, right, we are at 46 crypto-related enforcements so far. That was back in 2023. And now everyone is asking the question, when is Gary Gensler going to be out of office? XRP Drops put this clip out. This is Kathy Wood from ARK Invest. I don't think Chairman Gary Gensler will remain at the SEC, whoever is elected. I think he has aspirations from some kind of political appointment, so he may go for that reason if Joe Biden is reelected. He will go altogether if a Republican is nominated. Check this out.
And I don't think Chairman Gensler will remain at the SEC, whoever is elected. I think he has aspirations for political, some kind of political appointment. So he may go for that reason if Joe Biden is reelected, or he will go altogether if a Republican is nominated. So,
So there, guys, have it, right? Now, this has always been the big thing everyone has been talking about. Oh, Gary Gensler is going to be fired. He's going to, be out of office. But the problem is who are we going to get in next, right? Who's going to be the next chairman, and can we trust the next chairman? Because in my opinion, the SEC should not have any power over this market at all. Until there is transparent rules in place, no agency, no name should have any jurisdiction over crypto. Because it makes zero sense to have an agency like the SEC going after crypto firms, crypto companies, crypto projects, when there is nothing in place to guardrail this entire asset class. So I question, what are we going to get in next around the SEC? Are they going to be beneficial at all? Or are they just going to be another individual like Gary Gensler, Jay Clayton, Bill Hinman? Because these are individuals that were terrible for the space. And you can clearly see winners and losers being picked by these chairmen. Beyond that, Hester Pierce, the one that has always been focused on around crypto. I remember going back to 2021. Everyone thought that Hester Pierce was going to get Gary Gensler out of office, take over, and save crypto. That was the overall idea back in 2021. I've come to the realization that Hester Pierce is a great spokesperson for just talking and doing nothing, because that's exactly what she does, if I'm being honest. She is saying that Congress is stepping in and has suggested that the SEC will not be the primary regulator for crypto. Now, how many times have we heard this? How many times have we heard in the past 2 years that Congress is going to step in? Congress is going to save us. Congress is going to do this. And by the way, there's a ton of videos out there of congressional members saying, hey, Gary Gensler, you're doing a terrible job. We demand answers. Gary, you should be out of office. And guess what? We get nothing. We get nothing from them. There's zero action taken. Now, yes, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3 to get Gary Gensler out of office, but where's the subpoenas? Where's the movement back against Gary Gensler? We have these bills getting drafted by these congressional members, and again, it's not going to get passed. There's not enough support for these bills. So are we at a standstill while these congressional members go on CNBC, they go on Fox News, and they sit there and they talk down on Gary Gensler while doing nothing? Because if that's the case, guess what? It's useless. Just keep your mouth shut. But listen what Hester Pierce is saying here.
Now we're in a bit of an awkward position because Congress has expressed a clear interest in stepping into this space and has suggested that maybe the SEC will not be the primary regulator for much of this stuff. And so it's a little bit harder to do now. But I think whatever we do or Congress does, the point should be, let's bear in mind what the objective is, which is to make sure there's enough information out there for people to make decisions about what they want to do, but also to preserve the ability of people to innovate and think about how to do things in new ways, not to try to force everything that's happening in the crypto world into the traditional finance mold, which is not necessarily the best mold for all of these things. So I hope that we'll turn over a new leaf in this area and take a fresh start. Now we're in a bit of...
So again, as we wait on what Congress is doing or what the SEC is doing or any movement at all from any of these agencies, guess what we are actually getting? We are going to be getting regulations by the end of 2025 or possibly into Q2 of 2026. And the reason why we know this is because of what the FSB is actually doing with the IMF, with the World Bank, and even the BIS. And remember, guess what? They're instructed by the G20 to do this. And Gary Gensler, as a chairman, is actually on the board of the FSB. So when we talk about what's actually happening here, I believe that we're seeing the SEC doing what the SEC needs to do because they were instructed by someone of power to put on a show and cause as much chaos as possible as a regulator, while letting specific players into the space to turn things upside down, like FTX, for an example. And I believe that a lot of it is just manipulation. Again, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, the SEC and what Gary Gensler has been doing, it's all by plan. If it's not, then somebody, maybe the big bankers, because the big bankers love regulators. Maybe it's the big bankers out there. Maybe it's Wall Street giants. Somebody is controlling the regulators. And I question what is going to happen and who is Gary Gensler actually working for? Because since 2021 to now, it has been nothing but the SEC being on a warpath, arming themselves with everyone at their disposal, including, of course, Elizabeth Warren and individuals just like her to push this anti-crypto movement, while, again, demanding stricter regulations when there's literally nothing in place at all around crypto. But at the end of the day, this should all piss you off because when we talk about Gary Gensler, he is failing investors. He is ruining retail investors as well. $15 billion in damages during the XRP lawsuit. Even just upon the lawsuit announcement, it was $15 billion in damages. Not to mention how many XRP holders have been holding XRP since 2020 and prior, waiting for a new all-time high while the SEC stifled the price action back in 2021. But also beyond that, FTX. How many individuals were hurt by FTX or even Celsius or Voyager? This is what pisses me off about regulators and the SEC and Gary Gensler. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.